Hello, everybody, and welcome back to BrokeN Boys. This is episode 110. I'm Mike.
I'm Colin.
And yeah,
We're back.
We're back.
For the first time in a month of pods.
Yeah, we,
We've been in my apartment.
In your house.
In my dad's house. In my apartment again. In my apartment again.
Did we go in your apartment 3 times in a row, basically? I didn't notice that.
And here we are.
Welcome,
Who would have thought?
Welcome back to the real set. Yeah.
Feels more official. Here, you know.
Yeah, less smelly than all those places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get pretty smelly.
It's your familial stench.
Yeah. It's a curse.
It's a curse
and a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah. Depends on what you're into, I guess. Yeah. But
like, what would you describe it as?
Putrid.
Like, what does it smell like?
Like, if you were to take, like, the bottom of a garbage bag and, like, mix it in with, I don't know, maybe, like, a little bit of flowers or something. Like, there's, like, a little bit of pleasantry in there.
It's like scented garbage bag.
Yeah, it's like there's a little bit of pleasantry in there, but the pleasantry actually makes it worse. Because you're like, oh, this could smell better, but it doesn't. Yeah. Okay. It's like, it, like, gives you a taste or a whiff of what you would like, you know?
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you like it?
I mean, I can tolerate it.
Cool.
Yeah. That's what we do on this podcast. We tolerate each other. Yeah, anytime, man.
But we're back.
Yeah.
We're back, finally.
We're back. We're back in black.
I have black jeans on.
I am not wearing any black.
Your shirt's red.
No, my shirt. I forgot I was wearing this shirt, to be honest. We're back, and we're going to talk about a little bit of Car Seat Headrest.
Heart Seat Car Rest.
Heart Seat Car Rest. And we're going to talk through most of his discography and give a little review for each of the albums that we listened to and all that good stuff.
Got a little bit of Twin Fantasy back here.
Got a little bit of that back there. That one nipple's getting all the love. But yeah, we're going to talk about that. But first, how's your week?
It's been pretty busy, you know. Usually it's like, I didn't fucking do anything.
I played video games.
Yeah. I did that, but not as much as I wanted to. Because, let's see, Friday, we did the pod.
Yes, we did.
And then Alexis wanted to hang out, so I indoctrinated her with The Last of Us. We watched the first episode.
Nice. Has she played the game?
No.
Ooh.
So
nice.
Yeah, good stuff. We had crumble cookies, which I only had for the first time over spring break.
I've only ever had bits of them. I think Vince and his girlfriend have gotten them before, and they usually allow me to have a little sliver.
They're good.
They ration them to me.
That was fun. And then on Saturday morning, I got a text from my younger brother, and he was like, "Would you, like, drive me from my girlfriend's house?"
Did you go home this weekend?
No.
Oh, okay.
But his girlfriend lives like an hour and a half away from where I'm at.
Okay.
So that's like 3 hours away from home.
Right.
And I had told him that at some point, like, you know, if mom wants to drive you down there, but she has stuff to do, that I could drive you to, like, you can spend the night at my place, and then we'll figure it out from there. He's like, okay, cool. And then he decided to do that, to play that card the same week I said that.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, okay. So Saturday night, I had to drive out to the middle of buttfuck nowhere, Illinois.
Nice.
Almost hit a coyote on the way there.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I was just driving, and then this little fucking dog.
So during the day or
at night?
Oh,
it was like I went to get him at like 7:30 or so. So I didn't get there around till 9. So it was like pitch black. Yeah. And Saturday was the cold day too. So
that's right.
I was just driving, and I saw this little dog in the road, and I was like, "What the fuck is that?" it was a coyote. And I was like, oh, I'll swerve a little bit out of the way for it. And then started walking the way that I swerved. And I was like, bro, the fuck are you doing?
If you hit that would have been a bad burden for Car Seat Headrest.
Yeah, it was very dark. I've never used my brights more than on that drive. And then on the way back, well, first I had to pee, so we went to Casey's in this small little town. And I was like, this could
Was your brother with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, on the way there he wasn't, but on the way back he was. I had to get him from his girlfriend's house.
Gotcha. For some reason, I thought you were transporting just his girlfriend.
No.
Yeah.
No. That would have been weird.
Yeah. Last of Us. But
I stopped at Casey's to piss, and I was like worried that they wouldn't have a public bathroom because it was like this small town Casey's. And I was like, maybe. But they did, luckily. And you know, got a Red Bull just to make sure I stayed awake for that dark drive.
Good plan.
But as on the way out, these like 5 girls come in and they're like, Noah, and I'm like, who the fuck are these people? And I'm like, how do I know you? And I was like, who were those people? And he was like, oh, those were my girlfriend's sister. And I was like, oh, okay. And they were like, don't tell her you saw us. And then I was like, did you tell her you saw them? He's like, oh yeah. Okay. But you know, we drove back, almost hit a deer on the way back.
Oh, nice.
Well, the deer was less of almost hit than the coyote, but it was still there. Mm-hmm. It was like barely on the road by the time I got to it, but I was like, Jesus, and Noah went, oh! I was like, chill. But yeah, dark ride.
Nice.
Yeah, and then Sunday I had to work. I worked on Saturday too, but on Sunday I worked, and Noah had to stay in my apartment until I got back from work so I could drive him home. Nice. Because neither of my parents wanted to come and get him, so yeah. I was too nice. Mm-hmm. But drove him.
Your parents were just kind of hoping he would stay down there.
But I drove back with my brother. Had a nice home cooked meal.
Oh, nice.
And then I drove home, and yeah, those rides alone at night really make me go me behind the wheel.
Oh, really?
So
that's not good.
Yeah. But I didn't. All good. Still alive. Yeah. Damn it.
I guess some people are built different with that because I really like night rides and I don't usually feel tired.
If I'm with somebody, then fine. But if I'm alone, and even with the music blaring this time, I was like, God. But I think it's because I was like full and everything.
Oh, so, it could be that. Yeah.
But you know, got home, then I had to work the next day, and school and everything. But then we got some good storms on Tuesday. Well, we were fine, but like there were like storms are gonna be bad because they were bad on Friday as well. Arkansas had a big old tornado that killed a lot of people.
Did it actually? Damn, I didn't hear about that.
And so did Missouri on Tuesday or Wednesday morning. Something like that. Yeah, good old spring storms, tornado season's coming in hot. Yep. But you know, and then we picked classes on Monday. It was fun. And then I got an email from my advisor. He was like, "Hey man, you're taking a class that is meant for first semester freshmen only." And I was like, "And I'll waive that for you." I was like, "Okay." Even I think when I met with the advisor before I started going there, he was like, "We're gonna waive that for you," but it just never got waived.
Oh, sick.
So he was like, "I'll waive that for you," and I was like, "Cool." But he's like, "We should meet," and I was like, "Oh," because I get weird anxiety about meeting with people like that. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. And I've never done it. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I met with him, and he was like, "So, what's your plan?" And I was like, "Fuck."
That's the question I'm guessing you don't want to hear if you don't like meeting with them.
Yeah. Because thinking about the future gives me anxiety.
Oh, me too.
So, you know, we're talking, and he's like, so, you know, and I told him that I get he's like, have we met before? I was like, no, I get anxious about this sort of stuff. And he was like, oh, well, don't. And I was like, thanks, man.
Suck it up, pussy.
Because that's a very my dad response.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, I was like, okay.
That is something your dad would say. Yeah.
And, you know, and he was like, well, okay, so you're probably not gonna graduate until spring 2025. And I was like, oh, cool. That's nice.
Were you planning for 24?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like he was like, how have you been picking your classes and stuff? I'm like, I've been going through this like requirements for my degree thing on the register for classes part.
Yeah.
He's like, so that is bullshit, and I've been trying to get it changed for a long time. And I was like
bullshit for your major specifically,
bullshit
or
just overall.
Damn, even I didn't know that.
Yeah. And I was like, great, awesome.
Yeah.
So he was like, okay, well, I mean, you have an option if you want to do winter of 2024 or spring or fall of 2024. You can try for it. And I was like, okay, show me that. But then it was just like a shitload of work just every semester until then. And I was like, okay.
Do you know if like summer courses could have helped?
He was like, I would have had to take, I have to take a math class still. I have to take a foreign language class.
Yeah.
And I also have to take, I also would have had to take my Teach 212 class in the summer.
Yeah.
But he was like, you know, are you planning on being down here or at home? I was like, I want to be at home for some of the summer at least. And he was like, okay, so you probably have to do like high school towards home. I was like, okay. But I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to fucking stress myself out with 5 classes a semester for like 5 hard classes a semester for the next few semesters. So I can deal with another year of school. Yeah. I like learning, so I'll be fine.
I love learning. Oh, my wallet.
Yeah.
Learning from my mistakes. Yeah.
So yeah, partly my fault for not meeting with an advisor, but partly
he probably should have reached out a little sooner. Also,
yeah. I mean, like
you've been coming here for 2 years now, right?
Yeah. And like, you know, I've gotten emails, like general emails that he sends to like every one of his people.
Yeah.
But like nothing that like we should meet.
Yeah.
So, you know, partly my fault, partly the school's fault. Whatever. I can deal with another year of school.
That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Like especially the school fucking page. Because I mean, the school. I mean, did I talk on here about my summer course thing? I think I did.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing where like that was confusing for me. If I had everything I needed to graduate, I thought I had to go ahead because it didn't tell me when I applied for graduation. It's like, yeah, we'll let you know if you don't have the correct credits. But I guess when they say that, they mean the correct credit hours, and they don't actually look if I have everything I need to graduate, which is stupid, especially as a music major because we have too many credit hours.
Yeah.
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 So
fun stuff.
Yeah.
But I'll be down here for another year.
Vince will still be in the area.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So Zane said he'd probably be down here for graduate stuff too. So.
Oh, okay.
You know, I'll have people.
Yeah.
At least.
You got peeps.
Yeah, but fun stuff. And then he was afterwards. He was like, "So, am I scary?" I was like, "No, but that's not really what I was afraid of."
Yeah.
I just get anxious.
Yeah. No, I'm like that with phone calls with strangers, like people I've never talked to before, or if like it's an important phone call. I cannot fucking do that shit.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely feel that.
Yeah.
But spring of 2025, baby. Let's go! But yeah, fun stuff. And then otherwise, nothing too crazy. Just, you know, playing Last of Us Part 2 again.
Yeah.
Fun stuff. I had to, at work on Wednesday, I had to dump out a bunch of old beer out back. That was fun. Smelled good.
I'm sure.
It wasn't like beer. It was like seltzers and stuff, so it smelled good.
Yeah.
But we had to be sneaky because there was like a homeless guy sleeping behind the store. It
just goes up to the ground.
Here you guys thrown it out.
I would have given him one.
Yeah. I mean, if there weren't cameras, I would too.
Yeah. That's true.
Yeah. Fun week, you know.
Yeah.
Lots more stuff than I was expecting to happen.
Yeah.
But how was your week?
I also had a fun week. Most of mine was, I mean, I didn't really do too much. Like I talked about it last week, but last week was the concert season, so I was at school very late every night, and then I alluded to what the future would be, which was tour for our Wind Symphony.
Yeah.
Our top band, which is what I'm in this semester. Yeah, so we were going on tour. We left Sunday and we're supposed to get back late Tuesday. So Saturday was my one day of freedom. So I did a little bit of work that day, I think, but I mostly just relaxed. I was like, this is the midway point. I just gonna enjoy my time while I can. And then so we left. Yeah, I enjoyed my free time to wake up early on Sunday morning to come down to school, which, love that.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see, what do I have here? I skipped out on some stuff, but whatever. But, Sunday we drove. I sat near a lot of other clarinets. I play clarinet. A lot of other clarinets and, vibed on a lot of the trip. Listened to some Car Seat Headrest when I could. But the only long drives were the drives to where we were going and then coming home, which were both like 2-3 hours, something like that. But like the actual drives we did in between that were like 20 minutes or something. Everything was really close to our hotel. But we went to good old Moline, Illinois.
Woo!
Woo!
I know you've been there once for a 21 Pilots concert.
Oh yeah, maybe that's where I've heard of Moline before. Yeah.
That was where you went to Blurryface, I think.
I don't remember, honestly. I didn't drive that. But I was just there for the 21 Pilots. But that's we went to Moline, and then we went to a couple schools in Iowa, which was just, right on the border of Illinois and Iowa. So like we stayed in Moline because I guess it was cheaper at the hotel or something. I don't know. Did that ride. It was pretty good. First thing, I got noticed playing RuneScape like 10 minutes into the trip, which is great. I played it off. It's all good. The guy next to me was talking to we were talking about video game addiction, just like the whole group was kind of talking about that, and how bad it can get. And the guy next to me admitted to spending over $500 on Genshin Impact. Oh, boy. I was like, oh man.
That's rough.
Yeah. I mean, I know some of my friends have done that exact same shit, and I'm like, what is it about this game that people are...
Weebs, man.
Yeah, the weebs really want the good skins and shit like that. And I don't know, it's crazy. That, and then we were talking about social ethics for an hour. And this is Sunday morning, very first thing. It was like, all right. And I put my headphones on at some point and just listened to some Car Seat Headrest. But we had our first performance that night. And it was at a high school. The high schoolers played before us. They had a 15-minute set or something. And then, they went out into the audience and their parents were there and stuff too. But ours is a 50-minute set. Mm. And you could tell the parents and the kids just checked out instantly. They were like... we got applause and stuff, but it was stone face. And you could tell the energy was like... I want to go home. I came here for my child, nothing else.
It's a Sunday morning.
Well, it was a Sunday evening at that point, but still, Sunday evening is kind of just as bad.
Gotta go work on work.
Yeah. So, the vibe was a little off, but, we played well. We did what we did. Mm-hmm. Then that night we had, it was like a 5 o'clock concert or something. It wasn't, too late. Because we went home and we had a bunch of free time. We went out to an Osaka, which is, a Japanese restaurant thing. It's not the all-you-can-eat place.
Oh, I think from home.
Yeah, I think Vince always said the wrong name for that one or something. I don't
know.
It
is.
Was it Osaka?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because it was in that one place that we always went.
Yeah.
When it was first around, and then it moved across the street.
Right. Yeah.
So.
I don't know, but it wasn't all-you-can-eat. There was a hibachi side, and then just a side for just sushi and general dishes or something. And that's where we went to, the general one. And that was pretty good. It was me and the clarinets walked around. We were going to go to the mall afterwards, but it closed, so we just walked around the mall. Had a security guard kind of watching us because we looked like hooligans out there. Mm-hmm. But we were all dressed in business casual. It's we're not going to do anything. That...
Buddy, you want to let us into the mall? We'll slip you a $5.
We won't do anything in there. Yeah, we got back to the hotel, just kind of chilled. Then we started doing this trivia for we were reading questions off a trivia bowl thing, which I wasn't all too familiar with, but the format is you get one question between two teams, and then whoever gets that question right, they then get 3 bonus questions that they can ask and stuff. So these games took pretty long. And the clarinet section, we were being fucking nerds with it, especially the guys. And we literally played that for like 5-6 hours that night. Like originally we were told at like 9 o'clock to go to our rooms because like quiet hours had started or whatever. Like, oh, okay, cool. And then the guys just went up into the room and played for like an extra like 3 hours until like midnight. It was great. We got a couple inside jokes. Like there was one question. It was like a guy from Arthurian legend who like wielded 2 swords and did some shit. And we're like, we have no fucking clue who this is. Like, what the hell? And then our guy's just like, yeah, his name was Ballin' LaSavage. And at this point, we were pretty loopy. Like, dude, that was the funniest shit ever. So then Ballin' LaSavage just became a meme for the rest of the time. It was great. Monday, we had a performance at a high school. During the day, the kids came out of classes. Like, it was like band kids came out of classes and watched us. They were chatty, which makes sense. I mean, I think even if we were in high school and a band came to visit us during the day, I'd probably be a little chatty as well. Like, I would pay attention a lot, but like between pieces, I'd be saying stuff to you guys or something. So, you know, that was that. Then after that, we went to the John Deere Pavilion in Moline. This was, our band director was really looking forward to this. Yeehaw. Yeah, it was just a big room with like big farming equipment or whatever, and you can like go up inside them and stuff. We got a picture in front of one of them. It was great. A lot of people got John Deere merch, and John Deere sponsored the trip, basically, is what it seemed like. And then we had 3 hours to just walk around Moline, Illinois, and there's not shit there. So we we had a joke of all roads lead back to the John Deere Pavilion, because that's what we kept doing. We just went in every direction. We're like, oh, is that the John Deere Pavilion? It was great. And then night two was great. Like, we went to this school, and like their concert hall, holy shit. I don't know what kind of fucking funding this school gets, but like it looks like the level of our college concert hall, which is like really, really nice. It was not far off from that. And we were like, went in there like, holy shit. So like that made us play a little bit better, but then also the audience, like they have a really good band program there, like really good. So they were completely respectful. You could tell, like, you know, their students played and stuff, but you could tell they're like, we were the main event, and like they were excited for us and stuff. It was like, hell yeah. And we just like performed our asses off. Probably the best performance we had. And it was great. And it was a good way to end that night. And then then Tuesday happened, as Colin alluded to. Oh my gosh. The weather got really bad. Well, first off, at like 5 a.m., we woke up a little bit to hail. And it was like hailing against the window, and it was like gradually getting louder and louder and louder. And I was like, should we be worried? And then it subsided. We're like, okay. Then around like 9:30 or so, I woke up. I think other people were up before me, and you know, we were still playing it by ear whether or not we were gonna stick around. We were supposed to have 2 performances on Tuesday, but the siren started going off. We're like, siren's going off. And then one of my roommates was like, oh, well, it's the first Tuesday of the month, and if you're not from the Midwest, that every first Tuesday of the month there is tornado siren testing, but that usually happens like dead on 10 a.m. and it was 9:30 or 9:45 or something. We're like, okay. Sirens go away. We're like, all right, whatever. And then they come back. And so we were looking out the window or whatever. I wasn't quite looking out the window yet, but a couple of my roommates were. And they see, well, all of a sudden I see the lights just, you know, lights go out, power's out. And they're like, oh, I think that generator just exploded. I was like, what the fuck? So then I went over there to look out the window. And yeah, the winds were like picking up really bad. And, you know, it was raining pretty bad. Siren's still going off. We see a billboard get torn off of its, you know, stand, I guess. I was like, holy shit. Apparently some of the other clarinets saw a tree snap in half from their room, and like a pretty decent sized tree. And we get a text from our director like, hey everyone, come out into the hallway. And he basically gave us, I mean, everyone went out there and he gave us all the rundown verbatim. He's just like, yeah, so we're gonna get the fuck out of here once the tornado warning is up. And we're like, cool. And Yeah, it was crazy. We did more trivia in the hallway to just cope with it.
Yeah.
Got some McAllisters delivered to us, and then drove off home. And then I got home. It was actually kind of annoying because the way we drove to the place is we passed the apartment.
Oh.
Like when drove to and from. So like both there, I was like, oh, well, you could have like, I was like, I should have picked me up here because I'm 30 minutes away from school.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. I was like,
that
well,
is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Usually nobody would pass over here.
Exactly, right? Yeah. But I realized like when we were leaving, I was like, oh yeah, we're just going to go straight back where I came from.
Wait.
But yeah, then got back to school, got my stuff, went home, took a nap, and then I woke up to storms again because there were storms in the evening and heard the sirens 2 more times here. I heard the sirens, I think 5 separate times on Tuesday. So that was fun. Yeah, it was legit tornado conditions that we were in that morning, though. So that was a new experience for me. Yeah, and then Wednesday was fine. We did another concert that evening at our high school, at our college. That went pretty well. My parents came down for that. I was able to see them. Mm-hmm. My mom wasn't originally going to be there, but she had a work thing she needed to attend to, but the flight got canceled. Awesome. So she was like, I get to go to Michael's concert. I was like, yeah. Yeah, so that was really nice, and it was a good concert. They did. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah, my dad's like, I got something for you. I was like, oh. Yeah. I came home and devoured 5 chicken fingers, pretty much. Yeah. Then yesterday, I don't really think much happened yesterday. I don't think so. I mean, we did like another small band rehearsal. Yeah, pretty cool. And then today, today was today. Nothing really happened too much today. So yeah, that was my week. Yeah. Tour was, something. That was a big thing. It was fun, but yeah, it was fun. I liked it.
I'm glad.
Very tiring, but fun.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Music news.
Yep.
Greta Van Fleet's back.
Oh, are they?
Yep. They released a song called Meet Your Master.
Meet Your Master? That sounds right.
Something like that. Let's see if I can find it. Meeting the Master. For their album Starcatcher that comes out on July 16th, I think.
Doesn't something else come out that day?
Nothing But Thieves comes out July 7th.
Oh, okay. That's what I was thinking of, I think.
Yeah. It sounds pretty good. Interested in hearing, because it's kind of it's not as screamy as Battle at Garden's Gate. It's crazy that we've been doing this long enough to go through a whole album cycle and to start a new one.
That's how I felt with the Tyler, the Creator. Yeah. I was like, did Call Me If You Get Lost come out when we had this pod? Yeah.
Crazy shit. But it sounds pretty good. I'm excited for it. But you have something written down too.
Yeah. So Mr. Brad Tasted Music, big fans. We talk about him a lot around here.
Okay.
He did a little reaction to the new Melanie Martinez album, and he very much did not like it. Mm-hmm. And he was also
dog shit.
Pretty much, yeah. And like I thought, I didn't really like it that much either. I gave it a strong 4, and I still kind of stick there now. I think there's some redeeming qualities to like some of the production, but I can absolutely see why he does not like it at all. Mm-hmm. And also, he was bringing to light a lot of the abuse allegations that Melanie has had in the past. I think I was tricked by the fandom a little bit. Okay, so basically, he and Melanie Martinez's fan base are at war right now. Yeah. They are a very passionate group of people, but they're also a very toxic group. Mm-hmm. At least the ones that are interacting with Brad, sending death threats to him and his fiance, fucking, saying the most vile shit to him.
Yeah. Calling people slurs
and all that. And also, I didn't know this part, because I had heard a while ago that the accusations that were against Melanie, they're rape allegations. I had heard some sort of like confirmation that like the abuser's story or whatever was falsified. Like there was some proof that came to mind or whatever, and I kind of just took it at face value, I guess. Mm-hmm. Kept it in the back of my mind like, okay. But Brad had brought to light that a lot of that was just kind of shit made up by the fans. That it like, you know, there was no evidence that came to light. It was all word of mouth from fans, pretty much, that they were making shit up about the victim, which is not great at all, and really puts a lot of this stuff in a new light. Her fans really did not like that, and he called like the video Felony Martinez, the first one, and you know, got a lot of shit for it on Twitter from the stands and shit. And he called it for what it rightfully is, you know, at least when it comes to that stuff. But then also the music itself just isn't good on that new album. And then he continued with it with the sequel Smelly Fartinez, which reviewed Crybaby. And that one really put new things into a new light for me, because if you remember, I think I talked a few weeks ago, I revisited that one in K-12. And like, you know, it has like that weird childlike shit on it or whatever.
Just that fetishization of the baby stuff. You know.
See, when I was listening to it, at least, it didn't necessarily sound like fetishizing as much as it was like just taking these concepts and relating them to some darker topics. But like the way, I don't know, Brad kind of put it into a new light a little bit with, I mean, some of the stuff was fetishizing, and I could tell that. But like, you know, it dealt with darker topics and all that, and I kind of had assumed that like, well, this is probably coming from, you know, a place of, you know, childhood trauma or something like that, or she had gone through these things and now she's just describing them in this childlike way or whatever. Like, that's how very much the impression that I was underneath. But that is absolutely fucking false. And she just straight up like admits like, yeah, no, I had a really good upbringing with my parents and stuff and all that. So she's, you know, writing these songs about like these terrible situations and then turning them into these childlike things. And it's a really gross thing. And really set that in a new light for me as well, that album. And Brad's still getting shit for that, and but he says he's not gonna stop. They want to silence, you know, the victim that happened with the rape thing as well, and he's not gonna let that happen because that's been happening. No,
yeah. Fuck Smelly Martinez. We hate that bitch.
Smelly Martinez. Yeah. So Brad's been shining a light onto like a light that needs to be shown into this group and stuff like that. And
good on you, Brad.
Yeah, one of them like posted some sort of video of like they were listening to one of the shitty songs off the news, like one of like the ones that I'll even admit is like sounds terrible off the new album, and like a kid at school told her that like that sounds like shit, pretty much like the music. And she said that she would drag him if he said it again, and he said it again or whatever. And then she filmed the video of herself literally taking this kid's backpack and like slamming him onto the ground, and then was like boasting about how good of a fan she is for getting suspended for Melanie and shit like that, and like how the principal was stupid for whatever. And the fans were like, I was literally looking through the thread. The fans were like encouraging this. Oh my fucking god! And like nothing was wrong with this, and I'm like, what the hell?
What kind of delusional ass?
I don't know.
Awful people are you?
Yeah, there's a whole saga of shit that was going on with this, and
Jesus. All right. Well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yes.
If you like Melanie Martinez, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
We don't like you.
Yeah.
Especially if you're to that level.
Yeah. Oh God, for that, sure, that level. Yeah, Brad has Brad has dealt with some toxic fan bases, and he says that this is by far taking the cake.
He just had fun with Ronnie Radke a little while ago.
Yeah.
And now he's dealing with this shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, and also, I think I saw the same thread that you were looking at earlier as well. Like, I didn't know some of the behind-the-scenes, like, promo for the Crybaby stuff also. Because, like, some of that promo, like, straight up was sexualizing childlike imagery. Which I didn't know. Like I said, when I was listening to it, I thought it was just taking these darker concepts and then just, you know, giving them a metaphor or whatever. But, like, the way that it's done, it's very, you know, manipulative and gross. Yeah.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
In other fucked news, have you seen the stuff going on in Tennessee at all?
Maybe. I don't remember.
So after the shooting that happened a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week. It was recently. Yeah. There was a shooting at a school in Nashville, and so 10,000 students did a school walkout, went to the state capitol, and were protesting. 3 Democrats stood up in solidarity with their constituents and were like there for them. Two very young black men and a 6-year-old white woman. Mm-hmm.
Is it 60-year-old?
60-year-old, not 6-year-old white woman.
Yeah, that's what you said at first. I was like,
60-year-old white woman.
Okay. Yeah.
The two black men, Pearson and I forget the other one's name, but they're very young. They were just voted in, and they stood with their people. They went into the well, and they had a bullhorn, and they were standing with the people in the meeting room where they all meet. There's like places to sit for people to like watch what's going on. Yeah. So all the students were up there yelling and cheering and chanting, and these 3 stood with them. They were the only 3 out of the 90 people in that room that stood with them. And they were punished for it. Their badges were turned off. Their mics were turned off. Wow. Everything. And then it was said that there'd be a vote to expel the 3 of them from their seats. So yesterday, they had the whole day.
Wait, sorry. These were the only Democrats, like, in the 90 of them? Or they were just all 3 Democrats?
They were all 3 Democrats.
Okay, gotcha.
They're not the only Democrats, but they were the only 3 people that stood up and said something with them.
Yeah.
So, 2 young black men standing with their people that voted them in, trying to get gun reform. And, the whole day was about them speaking their piece, getting asked questions, and every single Republican that had a problem with them spoke down to them like a child, like they were above them. Yeah. Normal Southern shit. And they were both expelled. The 2 black men were expelled from their seats, and the white woman survived.
Wow. What a surprising outcome.
Yeah. The Tennessee 3, they had the 2 black men had very, very good speeches. They were very powerful, like MLK type shit. Yeah. But the thing is, they can get voted back into their seats because now, at taxpayers' expense, they have to do another election for those seats now. Yeah. So they could very easily get voted in.
I hope
the whole nation has seen this, and come 2024, all these students that are young, all these young people that just saw this shit, they're fucked. these old fucking Republican GOP members, gun lobbyists, they're all fucked. So we're gonna see some real change soon, hopefully. I hope so. But yeah, that was really fucked. And I stand with those 2, all 3 of them really. But yeah, even like the woman who wasn't voted out was on the news, and she was like, "Why?" The newscaster was like, "Why do you think that you were the only one that survived?" And she was like, "Racism. They're racist." It's a very plain and easy to see that
cut and dry.
Yeah, I was the only one to survive because I think their reason for letting her survive was she didn't use the bullhorn. So the other 2 used the bullhorn, so they were out of line.
I guess so.
But but she stood with them, and she just didn't get expelled. But good stuff. Love of America. Real fast as shit.
Yeah. You gotta make this place great again, am I right, guys?
Yeah, you're damn right.
Yeah. Please clip that out of context.
Also, Trump got arrested this week, so that was fun. Trump got arrested. Cameras weren't allowed inside.
Yeah, we need more pictures. I know there's one right now.
Yeah, there needs to be more. There's a picture and also a painting of the courtroom done. And there's a video of him walking into the courthouse, and nobody holds the door for him, so it just kind of hits him. It's like
he's not used to that.
Yeah. Good stuff. I also saw a TikTok yesterday about this guy who worked on The Apprentice, which was the show that Donald Trump did back in like the early 2000s or whatever. It's where the "you fired" thing comes from. Yeah. And apparently he just shits himself all the time.
Trump?
Yeah. He wears like diapers and he shits himself all the time because he like does stimulants, and those relax your body and make you shit yourself. And then I saw this clip of when he was president. He met with like the Turkish president or something like that. And there's like a video of them before they start like talking or whatever, where Trump just kind of like leans over and you can hear like and like and the Turkish president goes like, because it happens twice, like he does, and the next time it's like and the Turkish president's like, what the fuck? And then Donald Trump's like it's like, what the fuck? Are you serious?
Jesus.
But yeah, it was like a fucking 5-minute TikTok of this guy who worked on The Apprentice. He's like, you don't want to see this guy without like makeup or his hair done. He does the hair himself. It's just this long strand, like long piece of hair that he hasn't cut in like 20 years that he like does into place by himself, and then he puts like orange foundation on.
Right.
But like, and then he has like this girdle that he puts on as well. But really funny shit. Yeah. And that guy was our president.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good week for politics, I guess.
Bad week for pedos, though.
Yeah. And good week for Star Wars fans. They're doing like Star Wars celebrations or whatever. Oh. They showed the trailer for the Ahsoka series that's coming out.
I forgot about that.
It looks really good. They like announced 3 new movies. One's set. It's like the first Jedi who was wielded the Force like 25,000 years before the Skywalker saga or whatever.
Yeah, that
sounds really cool. It's done by the director who did Logan.
Ooh, sounds really interesting then.
And then Dave Filoni's doing one, and he's been working with Jon Favreau on like the Mandalorian stuff, and he's like a big Star Wars fucking nerd. Yeah. But they're doing like a whole Mandoverse kind of movie to culminate the whole thing. Okay. And then I forget her name, but the third one is a movie set 15 years after the Rise of Skywalker, and it's Daisy Ridley's coming back to play Rey, and they're doing like the rebuilding of the Jedi Order after the first Order. So yeah, we're eating good. Yeah. I love Star Wars.
Can't wait till she has a momentary lapse of judgment and tries to kill her niece.
Yeah. Hey man. It's gotta happen.
Happens to the best of us.
Yeah. But yeah, fun stuff, fun news stuff. You want to jump into this artist analysis?
We gotta talk about Car Seat Headrest.
Oh my god!
Shit. This is gonna be the length of Car Seat Headrest song.
All right. So yeah, we're gonna do an artist analysis of Car Seat Headrest, and if you don't know what that means, that's a series where we go through an artist's discography, talk about it, and rate it.
Yeah.
Say our favorite and least favorite songs, and then give it our overall thoughts of it all.
Yeah, this one's been a little less clear of a path than some of the other ones, mostly because a lot of his stuff was released on Bandcamp beforehand, and or something like that, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, and only like some of it. There's some albums before what was labeled as the first album on Spotify, or sorry, what was his first album that was put on Spotify. We decided we were going to stick with the Spotify ones and stick with the albums, and then I noticed that How to Leave Town was an hour long and had really good reviews on Album of the Year, and basically everyone in the comments is like, does Will know what an EP is? So I decided I contacted Colin. I was like, yo, can we add this one too? And he was like, yeah, sure. So we have that in here as well. So we're starting with My Back Is Hurting Baby. That's where it starts. I think that's what's
My Back Is Killing Me Baby.
Sorry. My Back Is Killing Me Baby. That's where we're starting. And we are hitting, I'm pretty sure, all the albums after that, except we only listened to Twin Fantasy once, and we did the face-to-face version.
Yeah, not Mirror to Mirror, which is that version.
Yeah, I will listen to Mirror Mirror at some point. But, yes. And just for a little context for myself, I had only listened to Twin Fantasy before this.
I had listened to Twin Fantasy, Making a Door Less Open, and Teens of Denial. So
yeah.
Still a bunch of new stuff from me, but
yeah.
less than you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, do you want to start? Do you want me to start? What do you want to do?
I'll start.
Okay.
I should keep track of who starts these.
All right.
We always have this dilemma.
Doesn't
All right.
matter.
Will Toledo, Ohio. All right. 2011, starting there with My Back Is Killing Me, Baby. I said, well, I knew some of this older stuff had some lower recording quality, but holy shit, LMAO. This sounds like it was ripped from a 2006 YouTube video with how everything sounds. But I cannot lie, there is a really charming heart at the core of these songs. Despite the dodgy production, there's a great passion for melodies and song structures that's kind of endearing. It's extremely lo-fi, but fairly pleasant on the ears as well. However, it's a bit of a give and take because I personally don't find these songs super distinguishable from one another. The production quality can also be a little grating at some points in a way that is not flattering. It definitely is a vibe, though, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I expected it to. But I would prefer if it was a little more casually listenable. My favorites on here were The Drum, Sunburned Shirts, Lawns, and my least favorites were Father Flesh and Rags and Stoop Kid. And overall, I gave it a decent 6.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yep, My Back Is Killing Me, Baby, 2011. This album sounds like it was filmed on an Android and sent to an iPhone.
It's a really good description. I like that.
It's compressed to shit,
Yeah.
but it's not all bad. It's got that car seat charm that I've become used to in the albums that I have heard, and the lyrics that I could decipher weren't too bad for the most part. I definitely think this album needs the Twin Fantasy treatment, but I kind of like the original Twin Fantasy because the shitty quality does add to the charm, just like this one. Just a little bit. This album isn't awful, but I probably wouldn't return. My favorites were Lawn, POW, No Passion, and Happy News for Sadness. My least favorites were Father Flesh and Rags, Sunburned Shirts, and The Drum, and I gave it a decent 5.
All right.
Right in the middle.
6, sick.
All right. So Twin Fantasy 2011, we did the 2018 version. What can I really say about this album? It's iconic for a reason. There's one song on this entire album that is less than 5 minutes long, and somehow
I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
is that the intro?
No, it's Stop Smoking.
Well, the intro's got to be less than 5 minutes as well, right?
Is it?
My Boy? Isn't that only like 2 minutes? On.
I could have sworn it was longer.
Yeah, the intro's 3 minutes long.
Okay, so there's
2 songs.
Two songs that are less than 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
But Mr. Toledo was able to keep even the longest songs engaging throughout their entireties. I know we listened to the updated version with the good production, but I don't even hate the original. The songwriting is fantastic, and the new production is so cool at points. This album is just a lot of fun, and I've loved it since I first listened to it. I highly, highly recommend this one to anybody. It's just so fucking good. But my favorites were Sober to Death, Bodies, Nervous Young Inhumans, Beach Life and Death, and My Boy, and I don't have any least favorites, so I give it a strong 9.
All right. Yeah, Twin Fantasy face-to-face version. Yeah, I said even though we listened to the remastered 2018 version, holy shit, this album is phenomenal. Every single track has a satisfying structure with catchy melodies and heartfelt lyrics. Will's vocals are so fucking passionate on this thing, and every song feels so characteristic of his style. I really love the flow of the album as well, with the last few tracks having these callbacks to earlier moments on the album, but like it kind of recontextualizes them into a new experience, which is just super cool. Like we've seen like John Bellion or I guess Billie Eilish has done it too, where like in the last track they'll do like a medley of tracks, but I don't think I've ever seen like just old songs be like weaved into the end of an album. Yeah. Like it's like very musical-esque in that way, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it just makes this whole project feel that much more satisfying and cohesive within itself. And also, Will fucking crushes it on the long tracks here. It's hard as hell to make a rock song 10 minutes plus, but he does it so effortlessly on here twice.
Yeah.
And the rest of the songs are also on the longer side, but they never feel like they overstay their welcome. Aside from Nervous Young and Humans for me, which does go on a little bit long in the spoken word thing, just
That's
for me
fair.
personally. I still love that song though. Sober to Death and Bodies are still bangers, but I'm still enamored by pretty much everything here. It's going to be hard to top this. I really love this album. And my favorites are Sober to Death, Bodies, Beach Life and Death, Famous Prophets, Stars, and My Boy. And my least favorite was Nervous Young and Humans, but like I said, I still love that track a lot. It just gets a little long. And overall, I give it like a decent 9.
Cool.
Yeah.
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 Great fucking album.
Forgot how we do this.
Definitely go listen to that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Really fucking good. Monomania 2012. As I mentioned on the debut album, there's an inherent charm to this lo-fi production style. However, it feels like the budget was raised by roughly $10, which is enough to make the lo-fi feel like an intentional choice rather than some weird constraint. I kind of love how shit the vocal and instrumental quality is, and when it breaks away and has some legitimately nice sounding guitars or electronics thrown in there, it's kind of otherworldly. At least it was when I was listening to it. I remember I was listening to this one on a dark bus ride, and like the electronics and like guitars, when they would sound like actually kind of nice, was like, whoa. It was pretty cool. Again, Will just oozes a passion for music and melody in a way that is so pure and human. I love how authentic he feels on all of these tracks, and the tunes themselves are pretty good too. Souls was a huge highlight for me here. What a 9-minute epic is what I put. Mm-hmm. However, I didn't feel quite the same about the 14-minute closer Anchorage, which was just a little boring for me up until the end of the track. And while I like this album a lot, I think its lo-fi production can only get it so far without it becoming a little monotonous as well. But it's all in all very enjoyable. And also shout out to the Sober to Death bridge on Overexposed, just peeking right back in there. I was like, oh. I know that. My favorites are Souls, Romantic Theory, Overexposed, and Joy, Los Borrachos, and
Los Borrachos.
Los Borrachos. I got a better grade in Spanish than you.
Okay, well, I sounded better saying it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I said
Eat my dick.
Misheard lyrics. And my least favorite was Anchorage, I Love You Very Much. And overall, I give it a decent 7.
Cool. Yep. All right, Monomania. All right, this ain't too bad either. Between here and the first couple, it seems like Will learned how to produce music, or at least got the means to do so.
Yeah, the extra $10.
There's some cool stuff down here, and the lyrics are pretty consistent as well. All of the distortion feels like a choice, including the effects on his voice, on his vocals, and that adds to it for me. I may need another listen on this one, just because nothing like extremely stuck with me, but I did have a good time with it. Also, again, shout out to the Twin Fantasy stuff that he put in there.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. My favorites were Souls, Misheard Lyrics, Romantic Theory, and Anchorite. And my least favorite was Los Borrachos. Decent 7 for me.
All right.
As well.
We landed in the same place.
All right. Time for this 2-hour epic. Nervous Young Man, 2013. If you thought some of the songs on previous records were long, you ain't ready for this shit.
Swans levels here.
Yeah. While many songs weren't over 10 minutes, there's still plenty of tracks to pad the 2-hour length of the album out. But even so, I really didn't have a bad time with it. I listened across 2 sessions, so the first half isn't as fresh to me as the second, but I do remember having a good time with it. I think what I love most about Will's music is the energy and just the passion he has for it. Even with how long the album is, he stays really consistent throughout the whole thing. I enjoyed the introduction of horns at certain points, and I honestly just love his production overall. Pretty solid record. My favorites were Just Tired, Knife in the Coffee, The Gun Song, Broken Birds, Rest in Pieces, Homes, and Boxing Day. And my least favorites were Jerks, Crows, and Goodbye Love. And I give it a decent 7.
Your least favorites sound like a song in and of itself.
Jerks, Crows, Goodbye Love.
Yeah. You said decent 7 again?
Decent 7.
All right, cool. Yeah. Nervous Young Man 2013. Holy shit, Car Seat Headrest upgraded from 240p to 720p. And I couldn't be more stoked. Admittedly, this record is a little tough to review on a first listen. While I know I really enjoyed what I was hearing, 2 hours of Car Seat Headrest is a lot to sit through. I did not split this into two sittings. I did this in one. But for some big positives, Will shows off some explosive emotional highs on this album. A lot of these tracks will start slow and acoustic and then end with this big bang of distorted instrumentals and passionate vocals. I really loved hearing these climaxes, and they turned many tracks that I was feeling just kind of meh on into something that felt worth the wait to get to where it went to. There were also a couple times on here where we got some strings and brass, which was a new change in the sound. And actually, I don't really think those ever popped back up in the rest of the discography.
I think horns showed up a little bit in Teens of Denial.
Maybe they did. Oh, you know what they did? They opened up a song or something. Yeah. But like, it was kind of cool to hear them on here. I was not expecting that. But yeah, this album is undeniably long, though. I have yet to hear a 2-hour album that felt like it needed to be that length, just period. Maybe whenever I get along to Swans, I'll find a way to justify it, but I don't know. It's just a long time of material that is somewhat similar, although Will does do a good job of varying it enough through here to where it doesn't feel like a chore to sit through. But yeah, I think if you gave me like 3 months and 6 or 7 more listens of this album, I could probably give you a more definitive opinion. But I did like of what was presented. I did like a lot of what was presented on here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my favorite was We Can't Afford Your Depression Anymore, Boxing Day, Knife in the Coffee, Dreams, Fall Hard, Crows, Jerks, Afterglow, The Gun Song, and Burning Man. My least favorites were Death at the Movies, Homes, and Plane Crash Blues. And overall, I gave it a strong 7.
Cool. Yeah, I will say that I did have an easier time listening to 2 hours of Car Seat Headrest than I did twice with Taylor Swift.
I would agree with that, actually. Yeah.
Just felt more varying and, you know, less...
Because we're closer to an incel than a country girl.
True. Though I did really enjoy Red and Fearless.
Yeah,
it was still a lot of shit.
It was a lot of shit, yeah.
But, you know, good stuff, though.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, right. God damn it.
Come on, Mike!
Okay, How to Leave Town 2014. Okay, originally we were going to leave this one out because it's labeled as an EP, but after seeing... I already gave the spiel. I thought it might be worthwhile. I thought this might be worthwhile. And boy, was I right. We've still got a few records to go, and I was really hoping I would find another record of his that I enjoyed as much as Twin Fantasy, and this might be it. It's got stellar openers and closer. It's got a stellar opener and closer. Beautiful synths layered throughout for like a spacey theme throughout the whole thing. Legitimately good mixing and audio, which was new at this time. Passionate vocals from Will and some killer builds and climaxes throughout. I was engulfed in the sound of this project from front to back, and I will absolutely be revisiting this in the future. But for now, I played it a little bit safe with my score, but there is a large potential that it will go up upon a second listen. Mm-hmm. I just really love the sound of this one. I'm a sucker for like these electronics and rock type stuff. Mm-hmm. It's probably my Radiohead fan within me. But yeah, my favorites were the ending of Drama Meme. Hey Space Cadet, Beast Monster Thing in Space. You're in love with me. I want you to know that I'm awake / I hope that you're asleep. Beast Monster Thing, Love Is Enough. And my least favorite was Kimochi Warui. And overall, I gave it a strong 8.
Cool.
Yeah.
How to Leave Town. Yet another solid addition to the Car Seat Headrest discography. I feel like he was experimenting with some different stuff on here, going with a little more of an instrumental feel at points. And I was kind of fucking with it. I really enjoyed the first 3 songs, especially the ending of Dramamine. I honestly thought that it was just going to be straight instrumental because, like, the first 7 minutes of it or whatever is.
Yeah, that's right.
And I was like, okay, I mean, I can deal with it, but once those lyrics came in, fuck, dude. Fantastic. And honestly, that song is one of my faves from the discography thus far.
I think for me, too.
Yeah. Well, I don't think Will knows what an EP is. He still... he sure does know how to make some killer fucking music. But my favorites were the ending of Dramamine, Beast Monster Thing. I put Kimochi Warui in my favorites, but Hey Space Cadet. And my least favorites were You're in Love with Me and I-94 West, and I give it a light 8. It could go up though.
Sick.
Yeah. All right. Teens of Style 2015. So from what I read, this was their first release under a label, and that's why it's just a bunch of songs that we've already heard. However,
it's the vessel.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed the remasters on a lot of these songs. They kept the original charm while adding production quality, and also making it possible to hear the lyrics in songs that we might not have been able to hear before.
Lyrics that were lost to time.
Yeah. While I would have liked some new material, I do appreciate what was done here, and it does sound good. My favorites were Times to Die, The Drum, Oh Starving, and No Passion, and my least favorites were Something Soon and Los Borrachos again. For the love of me, every time I listen to Los Borrachos, it never stuck with me. I don't know what happened. Just don't remember what it sounds like at all. And I remember what solid 7.
Solid 7?
Yeah.
I don't remember what most of these songs sound like, to be honest with you. But weren't there a couple new tracks on it?
There might have been.
Okay.
But
I know there were a lot of repeats.
Yeah,
but I think,
for the most part, it was...
Unless they came from even earlier or something. I don't know. But yeah. Teens of Style sees Will reproducing some of the older tracks in his discography while also throwing in some new ones, I believe. And as I was thinking with the first few albums, good production does a lot for these songs. Yeah. Their melodies and structures were good before, but now they actually feel listenable, LOL. However, I personally was not connecting with a ton of the songs in the back half. I found most of them to be fine up until it hit a really good climax. But I can't really say I was invested up until that point, and it wasn't like I don't remember which album I said it for. I think it was Nervous Young and Humans, where like it would or Nervous Young Man. What the hell is the name of the song? The album?
Nervous Young Man.
Nervous Young. Yeah, he has. You shouldn't do that. Where like I wasn't quite into it, but then the climax made it feel worth it. I didn't quite feel the worth it part with it on Teens of Style for me personally. Yeah, but they also weren't bad. They were just a little background for me, I suppose. Overall, it was still pretty good, though. My favorites were Sunburned Shirts, Something Soon, Strangers, and Maud Gone, and then my least favorite was No Passion. And I give it a light 7 overall.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Teens of Denial, 2016. Car Seat Headrest with a backing band is an unstoppable force. I'm not sure if they were, or I'm not 100% sure if they were included on the last project. I probably should have done some research on that. But they absolutely were here, and god fucking damn, do they bring so much character and energy to Will's sound. I really loved a lot of the production and lyricism here, and Will's melodies are better than ever on a lot of this stuff. I could see why people like this one a lot, because it's basically the same instrumental format as a lot of the stuff on Twin Fantasy Face to Face. And I know this one came out first, but like if people like that one a lot, I can see why this one's also liked a lot. Yeah. This is another one that may grow on me with more listens. I don't know what happened there, because there are some tracks that I thought were good but nothing special, but there were a whole lot more tracks that I thought were very special, and this is another one I will definitely listen to again after this artist analysis, and we'll see how my thoughts progress from there. My favorites were Drunk Drivers, Killer Whales, The Ballad of Costa Concordia, Fill in the Blank, 1937 State Park, Destroyed by Hippie Powers, and Not What I Needed. And my least favorite was Drugs with Friends and Joe Goes to School. And the Drugs with Friends has a very long title. I forgot exactly what it is, but that's the part not in parentheses. And overall, I gave it a decent 8. Yeah, cool. Liked it a lot.
Awesome. My most recent listen in the Car Seat collection. This album is so fucking good. This is the closest Will has gotten to replicating the magic of Twin Fantasy, and is definitely a part of the reason its 2018 version sounds so much better. This album is just straight banger after banger with some of the catchiest shit he's done to date. Like I said earlier, I love the energy that Will brings to it and the passion that he brings to it, and it is here full force the whole time. No denial here. Everything is fantastic on this fucking album. My favorites are Drunk Drivers, Killer Whales, Destroyed by Hippie Powers, The Ballad of Costa Concordia, Cosmic Hero, Joe Gets Kicked Out, yada yada yada, and Fill in the Blank. And my least favorite was Not What I Needed, and I give it a strong 9.
All right.
Fantastic.
Wow, another strong 9.
Oh yeah, man.
Damn, on par.
Hell yeah.
On par.
On par. All right.
Okay.
And now we get our most recent Car Seat album, And the last one for this artist analysis, Making a Door Less Open in 2020.
From the year of our Lord 2020.
Yes. This was my second soiree into the band, and I completely forgot how different it was from everything else.
Yeah.
The introduction of the electronic sound of a more electronic sound was a little jarring at points, and also not great in other parts. But there was some good. It was done well in some portions. The energy is largely the same, which I appreciate, and I may need another listen to digest all the electronica, but it's not awful. Just not really my favorite, which is fine. Would enjoy a more developed sound if Will were to return to this style. But there must be. Oh, and my last note, because I forgot to mention it within, but I remembered right as I finished. There must be more than blood. Reminds me of NGMT. But my favorites were There Must Be More Than Blood, Weightlifters, Deadline's Hostile, Marn.
Little inside joke.
Yeah. Light and Life Worth Missing. My least favorites were Him Remix, Can't Cool Me Down, and Deadline's Thoughtful. And I give it a solid 6.
All right. Yeah, Making Door Less Open 2020. Yeah, there's a bit of a step down, which is surprising because I really enjoyed when Will took a more electronic approach on How to Leave Town, as I was discussing. But here it just doesn't work as well. Now, don't get me wrong, this is still pretty enjoyable. I do like most of the synth sounds, and they're mixed fairly well with the standard rock instrumentation stuff. But what's really lacking here is Will's talent for addictive melodies and lines that are usually characteristic of his songs. I only really felt that energy that he usually has at the end of Deadlines, where he kind of just... I don't remember what the line is.
Which Deadlines?
Are there 2 Deadlines?
Yeah, there's Hostile, Thoughtful.
Oh, shit. I think it was... Which one I put in my favorites? Thoughtful.
Okay.
It was... I didn't realize that. I listen to a lot of these while driving, so I don't always look at the track names. Yeah, it was Deadline's Thoughtful. At the very end of it, there's some line that he repeats over and over again with like cool harmonies and shit that was really catchy. And I was like, that's the Will I know. The Will I am. But yeah, I felt like a lot of that was missing on here. He does all right for the most part, but it just doesn't really feel as lively and passionate as it did beforehand. I was also not huge on the new singers that were introduced on here, if it was just one singer or whatever. The one on Hollywood straight up did not mesh well with the Car Seat Headrest sound, in my opinion. It was like screamy type vocals. It sounded like something off like a Limp Bizkit album or something. I don't know. And the one who had their own track with What's With You Lately was just a little boring, and it made me miss Will for like a minute and a half or however long that song went on. But like I said, the production itself is mostly fine to good throughout, aside from a couple weird vocal effects that I was not huge on. It's all right, but it definitely could have been fleshed out a little bit better on a songwriting end, and also, some of the vocal stuff I think could have been done better when they weren't with Will.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall I liked it though. My favorites were Weightlifters, Can't Cool Me Down, Deadlines, Thoughtful. My least favorite was Hollywood, Famous, What's With You Lately, and Him. And overall I gave it a light 6.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I guess that's my cue to keep going.
Sir.
All right. Final thoughts. On paper, Will Toledo's music should not work. His songwriting style is very repetitive. He's not a super talented vocalist. He makes several songs that are 10 minutes plus. His lyrics are intentionally awkward at points. And over half of this discography sounds like it was recorded on a water-damaged laptop microphone. However, I think his style proves to me a theory that I have had for a long time about musicians in general, is that songwriting and character are like the most important elements of music making. As I have alluded to throughout these reviews, Will has such a gift for writing music and putting his absolute heart and soul into these songs, no matter what technical limitations he may have. His sense of melody is impeccable on a lot of these albums, and he knows how to pace out tracks to give satisfying climaxes and conclusions to songs that just kind of endlessly build to the end. There were a lot of times throughout this artist analysis that I was actually reminded of my love for Ants From Up There, and how Isaac's vocals can also be kind of subpar, yet they are so raw and personal to the tracks that it doesn't even really matter in the end, because it just becomes part of the song. I don't know. I really love that aspect in Will's music as well, and I think most of these projects were super solid and enjoyable, and I get the hype behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was my pair. What are your final thoughts?
Car Seat Headrest is yet another very consistent artist, in my opinion.
Yes.
While Mr. Toledo loves to make a long-ass song, he also manages to keep them fairly interesting throughout. This is our second artist analysis with a 2-hour-long album, and honestly, it was a lot easier to get through.
Third. Donda.
Oh, fuck. I forgot about that. I forgot we did a Kanye one.
Yeah.
To be honest. That was our second one.
Yeah.
It was Nervous Young Man was a lot easier than Fearless and Red to get through, like I said earlier. I love Will's energy and his songwriting and his vocals, and I would love to see him return soon, whether if it's experimenting with a new sound or going back to the old faithful.
I'm listening.
But yeah, I'll be there for it. And hey, man, maybe furries aren't too bad.
Yeah, maybe I am one, honestly.
Honestly,
I related to Will a little too much on this album. Yeah.
Incel furry.
Yeah, that's me. That's what you call me from now on. Okay. You can shorten it to if.
Yif.
That's how I say yes from now on.
No. Yeah. But album rankings here.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say I made a continuous and lapse in my judgment. Whatever. Donda was an hour and 48 minutes.
You motherfucker!
It was not 2 hours long. So we should have listened to that deluxe version.
Yeah, my album rankings are Twin Fantasy, Teens of Denial, How to Leave Town, Teens of Style, Nervous Young Man, Monomaniac, Making a Door Less Open, and My Back is Killing Me, Baby. And overall, I give them a solid 7.
All right. My ranking was Twin Fantasy, Face to Face, How to Leave Town, Teens of Denial, Nervous Young Man, Monomania, Teens of Style, My Back is Killing Me, Baby, and I forgot to add it. Oh, no, it's right there. Making a Door Less Open. Overall, I gave him a strong 7. What'd you say your rating was? Sorry?
Solid 7.
Solid 7. All right, sick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
But, yeah, hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah, there's great albums to check out from him, for sure. And, like, if you're into, like, indie sound in general, I think you would even like this more than we did.
Yeah. If you like The Strokes, you'll probably like Car Seat Headrest.
Yeah. If you like The Strokes, but sadder and mellower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening to Teens of Denial, I was like, this is Strokesy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, if you're going to check them out, definitely start with Twin Fantasy,
yeah.
then Teens of Denial, and How to Leave Town. But hey, if you like those, check them all out.
Yeah,
because
I think they're all worthwhile for something. Yeah. Honestly,
he is a fantastic artist, and I do hope he comes back soon. I know he's like touring and stuff right now, but
nice. I think he has an EP that's coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was when I was looking at album of the year for stuff. I think it's just called like 3 or something.
Yeah, okay.
So.
Well, I hope that happens soon.
Yeah.
Because I love Mr. Toledo.
Yes, me too. Mr. Will Toledo, Ohio. Yeah.
Love that guy. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
all right.
Well, this has probably gone on long enough.
A little bit. And before we get into Song of the Week, I just also wanted to say, I forgot to mention this in my music news, but Mr. NF, everyone's favorite white rapper, released an album.
Mine's Tom McDonald, though.
Oh. What do you like about him?
I like that he has the confidence to wear dreads as a white man.
Yeah. I like how he has to say what we're all thinking. I'm sorry. I couldn't keep a straight face for that. All right.
Also, like, he's named after my favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
Wendy's.
I was trying to think of a restaurant with Tom in it.
Oh.
I was thinking Ben and Jerry's. I'm like, no, I'm thinking of Tom and Jerry. Yeah. Sick. Right. Anyways, NF, unrelated. I even mentioned in the previous episode, I don't like grouping those two together because I don't think NF is a racist.
No, I hope not.
Although he did shout out Kanye like 3 or 4 times on this album, which I think is poor timing to start shouting out Kanye.
Yeah. But he's fine now. He saw 21 Jump Street.
That's right. Yeah.
Anymore.
Maybe that's why NF kept the lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. Anyways, but he did release an album last night, and I listened to it. It was an NF album. You know, it goes a little more contemporary Christian rock than some of his last last ones because there's more like ballad type stuff, and the braggy tracks don't really do too much for me. But there's some good lyrical content on there every now and then.
They used to do a lot to us.
Huh?
They used to do a lot to us though back in the day. Those braggy tracks.
Oh yeah. See, I think I even mentioned that. I won't go in too long here, but I even mentioned in my review on Album of the Year, I think the braggy tracks worked a little bit better when he was underground and fighting for something. But now that a lot of these songs are like, yeah, I've made it, I'm successful. Like, it's not like bragging I've made it, but it's just like, damn, I made it or whatever. I have a healthy life and healthy family. I have a child now and all that kind of stuff. And then also simultaneously rapping like, oh, I'm still growing. This isn't my peak. I'm still going. Shit like that. It's like
bars.
Yeah, those that wasn't verbatim. But maybe I should become a rapper.
A white Christian rapper.
Yeah.
What's a good? It's a pretty healthy career path to go
It's
into.
true. Yeah, catering to the Christians. I have the skin tone for it.
Yeah, because
but
then they can go, see, we're not racist. We like rap.
See, look, he has blonde hair and blue eyes.
Yeah.
But no, but I mean, like, for the most part, it was whatever. Like, there's cringy brag rap tracks in there, and like the choruses are kind of bad sometimes. But I think NF's lyrical content, when it's not being braggy, like he talks about some cool stuff. He's very open, personal with things. Yeah. So I mean, it was fine. Like, I didn't like it that much, but I also didn't dislike it that much. I have it at like a light 5 right now, but I probably won't revisit it. But figured I'd mention.
I never listened to Clouds, so it's fine.
Yeah, Clouds had some cool moments. Like Story, I legitimately think is a great track from there. But
yeah, very very high school days.
For sure, absolutely.
But yeah, I want to hop in a song of the week.
We should, and my blunders from the last few weeks were punishing me by just having Colin go first 3 times in a row. So,
Stop. You did this to yourself. Stop. I had a really fun time listening to Teens of Denial on the way here again, and the opener, Fill in the Blank, I was rocking out to it, so I'm gonna go with Fill in the Blank by Car Seat Headrest. Trying to let some air in, but you hold your breath. All right, that was Fill in the Blank by Car Seat Headrest. What'd you think?
I still like it. Yeah, I think that's a great way to open that album. It's really catchy. I like Will's voice on it a lot. I like how it cuts out the "You're not right to me." It's fun.
You ever try hard enough to like again?
Yeah, it's a rocker. That's probably the most like. I think it's safe to say like the most rocky album, like in terms of like energy and shit like that. There's a lot of good energy on that album, and yeah, that was a great way to start it.
I fucking love that song. It's fantastic. I liked it from the first time I listened to the album, but like re-listening to it, I was like, fuck, this fucking rocks hard, brah. I love the cutouts, like you were saying, like the "you have no right to be." Yeah. It's like, so fucking good. I know he has a live album on Spotify that I do want to listen to. I think it's the one between like Teens of Denial and
Teens
the last
one.
But yeah, good stuff. Love that one. But what song are you going with?
Yeah, so I was telling Colin after we cut the camera, as part of cut the camera. There's another angle that's only on the Patreon.
Yeah, we have a top-down shot.
Yeah,
and you'll never get to see it.
And a down-up shot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Under the desk shot.
Yeah.
So you can see our cocks.
Yeah. No pants reviews. But anyways, yeah, there was another factor. I was telling Colin right before this is another factor of this one is the long song lengths. Like there are a few that I really enjoyed a lot, like End of Dopamine and also the
Dramamine.
Whatever.
Dumb fuck.
That and also the closer to that album's I think like Hello Space Cadet or something. I don't remember.
Hey Space Cadet.
God, why do you know these so well?
Because we just talked about it.
I don't.
And I read them.
No. But you know, like tracks like those that I loved a lot, and I remember loving a lot, but they're also very long. I'm talking really long for a long episode, so I'm just gonna go with one that I remember enjoying a lot and is a reasonable sized, paced, length track. We Can't Afford Your Depression Anymore by Car Seat Headrest. We can't afford your depression anymore. All right. That was We Can't Afford Your Depression Anymore by Car Seat Headrest. What did you think of that?
Good stuff, man.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think it's a real good depiction of what really goes on in America. Because, you know, these drugs are so expensive that people who are depressed can't afford their depression anymore.
Yeah. I don't know why they skyrocketed the price of heroin. But I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That was a little insensitive.
I mean, what else is new for you?
Yeah.
A good song, though. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. I mean, what do you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I really like the lyrics in that one, talking about that, and then also, you know, relating it to the experience of being an artist and all that sort of stuff. I don't know. I really like the lyrics of it. I really like the chords in it. The chorus is needlessly catchy. We can't afford your depression anymore. You know, it's great. It's a lot of sad fun, which, you know, that's what I like most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really our genre of music.
It really is sad fun. 21 Pilots instilled something in us.
Yeah. Really made us feel like being depressed isn't always bad.
Yeah.
It can be fun.
What a joy.
Depression. Try it sometime.
Yeah. Market near you. I don't know. But yeah, that's about all I have to say for this week.
Me too.
Cool. Well, if you're listening on streaming services, thank you very much. We really appreciate that. We love you.
That's just for the streaming service.
That's just for all of you. Viewers like you. And
PBS reference?
Yeah. Sure. I just guess I have that instilled in my brain. I thought that was just I don't know. Anyways, thank you very much for watching us there. If you want to see our little faces, and also Colin's holding up a nice little album right now.
That's only for you guys.
Little fantasy of the twins.
You can see his nipples.
Yeah. Yeah, if our camera was reversed, you could also see the track list normally. But, if you want to see us and see all that, you can come on over to the YouTube under the same exact name, Broken Boys Podcast. Podcast isn't in it, but if you search it, you may find it. There, you can also find some links to other stuff, notably the Song of the Week playlist, where you can listen to We Can't Afford Your Depression Anymore, or
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank. I wanted you to fill in the blank.
Oh.
That was intentional. Fill in the blank, both by Car Seat Headrest. You can go check those out. There's like 3 other Car Seat Headrest songs in there as well. All very good. Sober to Death Bodies, Drunk Killer Whales, Drunk Drivers, Killer Whales. Drunk Killer. Those 3 I probably even like more than our songs of the week now. So like they're really good stuff in there. Yeah, good shit. Go listen to it. It's 15 and a half hours.
Yeah, there's 3 of those though. There's individual playlists.
Yes, there's one for me, one for Colin, and one for both of us, along with any guests that we frequently have on the podcast.
Well, frequently.
Yes, and we also got some links to our socials. I have a Spotify and Apple Music where I make original music. You should go check that out.
Listen to his music.
More stuff will
Plaintive,
happen.
coping mechanism.
Yes.
Listen to it.
Please do. I put a lot of effort and love into that album. It's going to be turning a year fairly soon. A year old.
That's crazy.
I think in June.
Fantastic shit, though.
Yeah, thank you. But yeah, we got that. Or I got that. I think I have an Instagram down there. I have an album of the year page where I review albums. Gonna be putting all these up there. Also got some new stuff in there for past albums recently. Reviewed a Mozart project, you know, the classics. And
I'm proud of you for that. You usually aren't good about listening to old music.
That's so true. I think I feel in my composition classes. You want to talk about old music?
Yeah.
But
he's also right behind you.
Yeah, I'm behind you, and I have a TikTok.
I have a TikTok to show you.
Yeah, all right. I'm gonna show you a TikTok, my favorite one. Yeah, and then Colin, he's got an album of the year page as well. He reviews albums. He has an Instagram page where he did review albums.
Yeah, I did.
You can blow off the dust in there. Maybe sneeze a little bit from it. But yeah, the good stuff over there.
Yeah.
Got some classics. He also has. What you have another social, don't you?
Yep. Let's see if he remembers that.
Fuck.
It's another rating and review site.
Oh yeah. He has a Rate Your Music account. No. He has a Letterboxd account where he reviews movies, and he likes movies.
Yeah,
I mean, I like movies, but this guy.
I love movies.
This guy.
I watched Little Miss Sunshine the other day. Great fucking movie. Steve Carell.
That's right.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Nice.
Also, Toni Collette, who was the mom in Hereditary.
Still haven't seen that.
You haven't seen Hereditary? Oh, we gotta watch that at some point.
Yeah, I watched that one and Midsummer.
Oh, already asked her. He's got a new movie coming out at the end of this month with Joaquin Phoenix called Bois Afraid, and it looks fucking crazy. So
sounds like it would be.
Yeah.
As you can see, fucking film geek over here.
A little bit.
I'm a music. I mean, he's a music nerd too. He's just an all-around. I only specialize. He's destined. No,
Oh God, that's what I was born to do.
I'm kidding. Yeah, got those, and he also runs the accounts for our Twitter and our TikTok for the BrokeN Boys, which are also linked down there. I think that's everything.
And I'm right in front of you.
And you're right in front of me.
We're going to give you a consensual hug from the front and the back.
He's going to be doing this to you. This will be you, and this will be him.
Yeah, and then Mike will be back here.
Yeah, I'm out of frame. I'm just watching.
Yeah. But he'll come in for the hug if you want him
and I'll
to.
show you a TikTok. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's a good TikTok.
After the sensual hug. Yeah. And yeah.
Thanks for watching. We'll do a bracket next week, and we'll figure that out. But that's a surprise for you to find out and for us to figure out.
Yes. All right.
Bye.
Sick. Thanks for
Hope
being
you
here.
enjoyed.
Should we reenact?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta make your mouth my eyeball.